Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Inside the Box, which is a video tutorial or video demo review of Iclone specific content. Today we're going to be reviewing one of the developers that we've already done some reviews on, Dexsoft Games. And specifically in episode 5, we're going to be taking a look at the Sci-Fi Theme Pack Collection Volume 1. You'll see on Reallusion's content store, obviously under the featured developer, the elite developer section, we have the Sci-Fi Theme Pack, and it consists of 4 specific packs. We have Sci-Fi Corridors, we have our Sci-Fi Building Models 1 and 2, and then we have a Viper Scout, which is a vehicle. You can see the individual packs and take a look at them. They retail individually for $29.95 a piece. And you can see the Viper pack, again, the Sci-Fi Buildings, and the Corridors, which is basically $120. Currently, however, they do have an exceptional sale price for the bundle at $69.95. To me, whether you're going to buy an individual pack at $30, that's up to you, obviously, but I do see collectively a pretty strong value here at that $69 price tag when you look at what's included in the actual packs, which we're going to get to right now. We're actually going to start with the Viper pack itself, the Viper Scout, which, as I said, is a vehicle. You can see it'll be located in your prop sets, and the pack comes with individual component pieces. So you've got the vehicles themselves. You've got the Viper Scout 1 and the Viper Scout 2. I'll load them both onto the stage so that you can see the difference of the between the two vehicles. One, obviously, the vehicle 2 has the open concept, so that if you're having the somebody inside the vehicle and you want them visible, and the other one has the closed option for the vehicle. Both vehicles themselves, whichever base one you choose, have the tires, which are separate individual props, which to me is a very, very good thing. Reason being, you can adjust them or take them off or make them move. Because for me with vehicles, if the developer's not making the wheels independent of the body, they're doing themselves and obviously everybody else a disservice, because then at the end of the day we have to try to find a mechanism to hide them, and we don't have other options with making them drivable vehicles. So when you look at this particular section, as I said, the tires are actually removable if you so choose, or detachable as well from the initial prop. So if you're working with the physics toolbox, or even with the older iCar body shop, if you happen to have that, and you were looking at the mechanics toolkit in there, you could in turn make this a drivable vehicle, as you can see in the demo video that I've made of the vehicle itself, again using either the iCar body, or if you use the physics toolbox themselves, you can make the vehicle itself a drivable scenario, which is excellent. So you also have, with the Viper Scout, you have some of the other base props that you can use as a filler. You can see here that you have the battery or jerry can. There's a bucket and an axe. Well, they say a bucket. I guess that's a shovel. Different term, probably from the UK, calling a shovel a bucket. And then you have the axe. So different things that you can utilize. You also have gun mounts. I'm going to talk, and the tire itself independently. I want to talk about the gun mounts really briefly. This is just a recommendation, again, from my perspective. You can see that the gun mounts are independent. The vehicles themselves, they do have a gun mount on them. Now, that gun mount already mounted is not a separate prop, so you can't move that one that's already mounted, which again doesn't necessarily detract from it. You can take the other one and do a double stack, and in turn then make your top gun be able to be, independently move if you're going to be animating the gun itself. Recommendation, again, pieces like that, for me, I find that giving more choice to the actual user from a standpoint of allowing them to manipulate or make that part of the prop to be workable for them is always handy, because then again it becomes an animation type scenario that they can utilize versus a static prop that they're stuck with working with. And as a result, lastly, be conscious of where the actual pivot point is on said prop. So for example, the gun, in this case, we're looking at a prop, and you see where the pivot point is. If you're going to be rotating it and spinning, it's going to spin the whole gun itself. So the quick fix on that is just edit the pivot point on your actual gun itself. Position it into a scenario where it's more so in the middle. I'm not going to spend a whole whack load of time doing it, but you position it where it's really kind of in the middle of the actual prop itself, so that way if you're going to manipulate it, you can then have like a turret spinning and moving around in a more capacity. So that's the actual Viper Scout model set. We're going to now go on to and take a look at the actual sci-fi corridor construction and the sci-fi building model pack and the sci-fi desert building model packs next. So now let's take a look at the two different building sets that are with the sci-fi pack. Is the desert building model pack and the regular sci-fi building model pack. So in the desert model pack, you can take a look here in it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different buildings themselves, and then a couple different walls if you wanted to look at building out a surrounding type scenario. You get the wall section and door section, so that way you can take a look at it and build it out to be a walled city if you so chose. And the buildings themselves, nice. They're well modeled. Again, they do have that futuristic look. They've got the diffuse maps, the bump maps, and the specular maps themselves. So if you're a Star Wars fan, very similar to what you'd see on Tatooine or something, from that type of a look. But there's a good variety, enough such that you can create a pretty good city vibe if you wanted to from the different pieces. And again, you can look at the different configurations that you can utilize and you could put through to build that stuff out depending on what look you were going for. So overall, I think that this particular prop pack again has enough different pieces to be able to do just that. Again, my only recommendation when it comes to these types of things for developers that might be looking at these is look at or consider looking at putting in some type of ground system for your prop pack, just from a layout perspective, or even a fully combined prop where your vision can be realized. I personally like having all the individual pieces so that I can then customize and do it any which way I so choose. But when you have a layout like this, I find again, so it might be more attractive to other people if there is some type of ground system or ground layout for it. But otherwise, the pack itself, again, low poly on the actual models, as you can see, and in the fly through you can see the actual the actual models built out in Iclone itself. So overall, pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I like the fact that the bump maps are there with the diffuse and the specular. And if we're going to take a look at the other building pack, which is just the regular sci-fi buildings, same scenario here. There's some interesting buildings in this one. And again, the value being you can combine these different ones. There is a slightly different look. These particular buildings have a grungier type of feel to them, but I like this pack. I like the different kind of industrial sort of feel that this one portrays when you're looking at the different pieces that come into the actual set. It does feel like a little more kind of gritty sci-fi, and same thing with the fly through. You can kind of see the different looks for it. But again, good combination. A lot of these ones are, some of these props themselves are combined. You look at the silo is also comes out as a separate prop if you wanted to do just that piece of it. And same thing with the turbine if you wanted to do just that piece of it. So they have the combined version of it, which is nice. But at the end of the day, those pieces come back out. So you look at the different props themselves, different pieces that you can adjust and build. Again, same thing. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'd like to see some form of ground plane for those types of things. Do have the walls. If you end up buying the combo pack, then you could utilize those walls from the desert pack in this one as well to maybe build out that give it that walled look if that was something that you were going for. So overall, not too bad from the sci-fi. Again, buildings have the bump maps and low poly on all the builds, and useful for some background type of cityscape or flybys for your actual set. If you get up close and personal to the props, the textures hold up, but it is video game like, because again, that's what they're designed for. So don't expect super high res images on the actual buildings if you're doing a close-up shot. To me, the strength of these is kind of those establishing shots or fly-throughs, and then when you're getting up close and personal, have your cutaway scene to something else if you're going to be doing a close shot. So that covers off the two building packs, and next we're going to go to the sci-fi corridor construction set, because that one has a great deal of information that we want to look at in that particular setup. So we're going to do that one as a separate one right now, and you'll be able to see what we've got in there as well. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to talk about the fourth package in the whole set, which is the sci-fi corridors. Now, the sci-fi corridor pack, as you'll see, is broken down into two sections: the building elements and props. So again, there is no I win button with this. With all of the different pieces that come in the package, you can use them to build your own sci-fi room. You can use them to build your own sci-fi hallway. You can build a hangar, all kinds of stuff. You'll see here we've got columns. We've got all kinds of different options for them. Thin ones, you've got some thicker ones. Different designs, different elements that you can utilize for it. All of these pieces that you can see as a construction level that you can use to build out your sci-fi set in any capacity that you want. Several different door options, doors, door frames built out that you can again then utilize to build your own section. You've got some stairs as well as a few different wall panels. You've got three main different wall panels, and you can see the three of them in here as I pull them out onto the stage. And you can look at what you can create with a within Iclone in the render that we've got playing for you there, you can see the different looks that you can create. And again, this is just a room that we put together on our side using the different pieces. And as well, flipping back to the prop section, these are all the filler pieces, which are really good for different parts of it. As you can see, cables and cameras, crates, different decorations that you can put on the wall, fire extinguisher, handrails, that sort of thing, monitors. The monitor is useful from a standpoint of the screen is a separate UV map, so you can change out what image is on there. You're not stuck with what's existing there. A lot of fun this pack. Again, you all know I've said it in the other episodes that I'm a fan of having the pieces all as separate pieces that I can then utilize and interchange versus being stuck with somebody else's vision. This pack itself is excellent if you're using it in conjunction even with some of Reallusion's sci-fi stuff. Reallusion has their sci-fi components from before that you can utilize, and their space props. So overall, this pack itself, when we're looking at from a value standpoint, when I see it individually, like I said, we're looking at 30 bucks a piece for each of them, and the actual um, pack is on sale right now for $70, basically $69.95. So collectively, when I look at these four packs as a group, would I pay $30 individually? Maybe. Likely, I'd probably pick out the sci-fi pack the most out of the one that I find would be most useful from that standpoint. But as a whole, I can't argue with the package price. $70 for all four of them is a pretty good value that you can see. So again, this that sums up collection sci-fi theme pack collection volume 1. At some future date, we'll obviously be talking likely about the sci-fi collection volume 2. But for now, I hope this was useful and informative and helps you take a look at what they have inside the box with Dexsoft Games Sci-Fi Theme Pack Collection Volume 1. So until next time, take care and we'll talk to you soon.